The only one for me.
There we go.
So have me together.
Nobody but you for all my life. Baby, up at the stars will be blue for all my life. There's no way that he's... You know, I don't know if this is something that's... By the way, we're already recording. Anyways.
Hey!
Welcome to Midlife Crisis. This is... Oh, yeah.
Midlife
sure
Crisis.
He sure is. Recently, we have good internet. Just before I don't have like it's not like we have like 2 megabyte a second, whatever crap. Mm-hmm. We have the highest internet you can possibly imagine. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we ran through our data usage in a week.
Wait, in your household has you don't have like unlimited?
Well, we do. I do now. My kids don't know that because they don't know that we do.
What he's saying is he doesn't want his kids to find out that he has unlimited internet because then they're going to use it.
Yeah. Well, we didn't because I thought that we had plenty. I was like, this is plenty because I looked at oh, here's the usage, blah, 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 blah. And then...
so it's the type of thing where once you've stolen so much data from the interwebs that it like starts throttling and it's like, we're going to give you internet, but now you only get a little bit.
Yeah, it's sort of like that. So very, very recently I started throttling the kids' internet. Throttling the kids.
I throttled the kids' faces and then their internet.
With a modem. No. So we started putting limits on how much they can use and all these things, and a much more controlled amount, and which is a very parent thing. Be like,
sure,
you go, okay, we control the amounts that they use, but now it's
from 5 to 6 you do your homework, and then from 6 to 7:30 you can have your internet.
And if you get on, you can get on the fortnights, and then if you talk to your friends, but if you sound like a man,
but you can't be on fortnights for a fortnight. That's 14 days straight a fortnight.
And if you screw it up, then it's gonna be 4 scores in 7 years until.
Hey, that's a good score. You got 4 scores on Fortnite.
Got 4 scores on Fortnite. That's a good score on Fortnite. It's a Fortnite score. It's a Fortnite score. So as we're sitting down, I got a message going, "Hey, one of your kids has used up all of his time for the day, and in 15 minutes we're gonna be over here." Oh man!
Oh, does that mean this podcast is just gonna crash in 15 minutes? It's just gonna be like,
we are covered. That'd be funny if it was. This is not. This is off. We are on the grid, but offline.
Right.
With the recording.
On grid, offline.
Yeah.
We are the deep state.
We're deep state, but not so deep that you don't know who we are.
We don't want the government stealing our IP addresses.
The government don't want you to know.
Sell them to no Russian KGB operatives.
If you don't do it, the government. If you don't do it, Joe Biden says he puts a limit on your internet.
Yep.
The Wi-Fi, it's slowing down. My Spotify's not making any sounds.
My internet is going down the drain. As with everything in America, it's Biden's fault to gain.
Oh, internet, won't you connect to me? I'm asking you, please, just a little Wi-Fi for me.
Please, oh, internet, this isn't what we saw when you were invented by Vice President Gore.
Now I want to watch a Netflix show, but I'm feeling unhinged. I'm only 2 few episodes in of this season here. But I want to binge. Oh, internet, won't you let me binge you for a while? Oh, internet, it would be what my style if you just came down and gave me unlimited data for the day. Then we, as people, could get together and say, connect with me, internet. Connect with me, please. Connect with me, internet. Oh, I'm begging, please. I want my day to reach its height. Oh, sweet internet, won't you give me just one more megabyte? Oh, internet. Oh, internet. Won't you please connect with me? One of these days, you're going to let me sing a harmony with you, Josh.
I'm trying to figure it out. We're working on it.
All you have to do is just stay on the same note.
Oh, okay. Well, then,
Just don't move.
Oh, so you think that I know how to sing now?
Well, you do, because you're singing.
I'm
And all I'm
singer.
saying is just do what you're doing and do nothing different.
I really
So, like,
it's like
na, na, na. That's all you gotta do.
okay.
Don't move.
I can do that.
I'll handle the meat. You handle the potatoes. You know what I mean?
I'm more of a potatoes guy, anyways.
Hey.
So I'm on. Oh, speaking of midlife crisis time, I'm on. Other than today, I messed up. I'm sorry. That's your fault.
Already had a cheat day.
We already had a cheat day.
I had a cheat day too because I'm not supposed to be drinking sugar soda, and then I showed
Same.
up and you put a Dr. Pepper right in front of me.
And because I asked for Diet Dr Pepper, and then he goes Diet Dr Pepper, and I said in my head I go whatever.
Yeah, let's kill
and then
Paul.
and then 2.5 glasses later, I got the sugar rush and a carb headache, and I'm like, okay, what is happening here?
I'll tell you.
So this is my fat boy update. I've been doing keto for the last week or so.
Okay.
I've been doing pretty good.
How's it going? Are you weighing yourself? Are you doing the daily check-ins? Any of that?
What I like to do is I like to run by the weight. You have to run by the scale. It's like LaCroix. Do you see?
I'm not tracking any of these analogies.
Yeah. So like when you drink a LaCroix, you get the hint of what it is, and so that's why I like you just got to step on the scale and then like walk off. Just be like, huh? Okay, we're good. Okay, just kind of get an idea.
You're like LaCroix. It's like this would be really good if it was what I actually wanted to drink.
Yeah.
But this just reminds you of how you're not drinking what you want to drink.
Exactly, and so when I get on sale, it reminds you of how bad you're doing.
Yeah,
and so
I think that's important though. Because I'll tell you, it's tough, but sometimes reality, we just got to look at it right in the face. Because until we look at it,
I don't like it. Well, in my defense, I don't have to use a scale to know my reality.
I'm talking about the specific, the statistical reality.
I'm just saying, my barometer of weight loss is booths. You know?
Yeah.
Can I fit in a booth? Can I fit in this booth? No, we're good.
But here's the thing. If I've learned anything in life, which I have learned very little, as I'm finding.
So little.
Matter of fact, every time I learn something, it's like I unlearn like 10 more things. So I'm exponentially getting dumber with everything I learn.
Oh, wow, I don't understand the things.
That's because you don't understand exponents. So, anything like this, it's daily. You got to have a goal.
You do?
And you got to measure progress, and you got to be honest with yourself. Did I go up? Did I go down? You got to have some sort of tracking thing. You got to track.
Yep.
It's not fun.
Yeah.
But otherwise, human beings, we are creatures of habits. And if we are not constantly in our face, cell phone notifications. I have this app on my cell phone right now that pings me every single day for my goals. It's called Habit
now.
Ooh,
And I
okay.
put in there what my habits are.
Let's have a midlife crisis. Not sponsored by Habit Now.
Not sponsored by Habit
Yet.
Now yet. That's going to be one of my habits. Get sponsored
Yeah.
by Habit Now.
New habit.
And so I literally put it on there, right? So one of my goals is no sugar soda. So today I got to go, nope, didn't do that.
Oh,
Thanks
that's
to
a
Josh.
good idea.
So I failed, but that's important.
It's important to know. It really is.
Even if you fail, it's just noted. And it's just all data. We get so emotionally, I can't speak for other people. I get so emotionally wrapped up into success, failure, and it's like, oh, I didn't keep my goal today. I'm the worst. And then all the childhood drama and all of the belief
Yeah.
system. I'm never going to blah, blah, blah. It's just data. It's just information. Oh, I drank sugar soda today. Mm-hmm. Cool. Tomorrow, I will remember that's what I'm
sorry,
not doing.
Paul. Actually, we took a vote, the rest of us, and you are a bad person today. So because you drank sugar soda, even though it was my fault technically,
But see, that's good information, because when I saw that Dr. Pepper, what was more important to me? To go like, oh, thank you, I'm so on the thing, take it back?
Yeah.
Or was it like, I'm just going to be agreeable, I'm just going to drink this Dr. Pepper because I want it anyway, right?
that's
It's
almost
data.
what happened
It's
with me.
data.
Where I go, Dr. Pepper, he goes, Dr. Pepper, sure.
Yeah.
And then in
Like
my
that's,
head,
that was the strength of our resolve. I'm never gonna drink Dr. Pepper. Did you want a Dr. Pepper? Okay, fine. Yeah, that was.
Well, if you insist.
Well, he did really say it once because he misheard what we really wanted. I guess we have no choice.
Yeah, but also in my double defense, he's not a very good waiter.
I know. We did establish that.
We established a very nice guy. Seems like fun to hang out with.
Yeah.
Not a good employee.
Yeah, just not who
We're
we
not going
want.
to say where we went to because we want them to sponsor our podcast.
I would say instead of blaming ourselves for today's mishaps on our diets, let's blame the server.
Let's blame him.
Let's blame someone who we have no direct control or access to. That way we can absolve
That sounds like
ourselves
a song.
of all responsibility.
Let's blame.
For our actions. What kind of what? I didn't hear a song.
That sounds like a musical. That sounds like a musical number.
What kind of musical number
Like
is that
a
sounding?
upbeat, like a bro. Let's blame a man. Like a yeah. Oh. Let's blame our waiter for all of our troubles. He came over with Dr. Pepper and the bubbles. Then we just took it from his hand and drank. We didn't even take a moment to think.
Oh, I already messed up because that because that waiter put soda in my cup. Oh, I could have said no, but I didn't. I drank that soda and man, I didn't care.
With what I was doing, wasn't thinking about me in the future. But now that I'm sitting here, it's very clear it's the waiter's fault. It's the waiter's fault. He's a big old dum-dum, I hate him.
Why don't you stick to your job, bringing us water and other things, yeah. But no, you brought us what will kill us. Now we're all wanting to kill us.
It's the waiter's fault. It's the waiter's fault.
It's the waiter's fault.
It's the waiter's fault. It's the waiter's fault.
And now I've got to go into my Habit Now app and put a red X. I failed today, and that is that.
Now I have to tell my wife that I didn't stick to keto, and then I have to look at the face of her and say,
Was it your fault?
It wasn't my fault.
Then whose fault was it?
It was the waiter's fault. It was the waiter's fault. It was the waiter's fault.
It was the waiter's fault.
It was the waiter's fault.
It was the waiter's fault. It was the waiter's fault.
So I really blame him, honestly.
Yeah. I don't think that was our best song. I'm not
But
gonna
that's
lie.
okay because we're it's you know what the thing this is not our parameter of like are we good people?
Yeah, right.
Are we good people or did we drink?
If I don't do a good on the spot improvised song, then it means that I
Yeah.
don't deserve love.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's sorry.
And why
What do you
don't I
think?
don't deserve love? That damn waiter.
Married. Hey, tell me about your week. You got to do a lot of really cool things last week.
Yeah.
Since I saw you.
And I had some life lessons, speaking of reality,
Yeah.
punching you in the face and going, here it is.
Here's your
Here it
lesson.
is. Here it
Here's
is.
your
You
lesson.
feel that? You feel that? You feel that reality? How's that feel smashing that reality into the sidewalk? That was a little intense. I was in Los Angeles, Hollywood, California all week.
Whoa, big shot.
Playing piano for the world famous magic comedy improv duo, The Charlatans. Every time they say the name, I have to do that.
It's improv magic?
It's improv, it's magic, it's music, it's comedy. It is
Wow.
It's this vaudevillian sort of it plays like a play.
Yeah.
They're doing like a film noir vignette. And then, as they're going through and they're in different characters, they're changing costumes while they're like doing the magic tricks with the audience while they're developing this kind of murder mystery. And I just play piano, so I accompany them. And it starts off, with this big opening music number. Hello, indeed, hello, and welcome to the show. We're a doozy pair of floozies that you really like to know. Look at that guy, makes women sigh, that ain't no lie. We're so charming, it's alarming in our rented black bow ties, right? And so they do this whole thing, and then, canes pop out and, like flowers and then, they'll... Anyway, it's this incredible show, and I have been playing piano for them now, for about 5-6 years.
Okay.
I didn't start with them. They had a couple other piano players before me, but then I came on board, and then I've just been their guy.
Yeah, you blew the other guys away.
I was just more available and cheap.
Oh, that makes more sense.
And good enough.
Yeah.
Like the guys who were doing it before me, are like professional.
They're like studio musicians.
Studio piano
and
musicians.
This is not. I don't do this very often, but I'm going to give you a compliment.
Oh,
so prepare. Go ahead and morsel up. You're a very, very talented musician.
Oh, well, thank you.
And I don't know if anybody that's listening to this, I don't know if they understand how hard it is to make up a song on the spot, but then number 2, be able to play that in a key that fits both of us, and then 3, in a style that is very specific. So if let's say we want to sing about a life lesson, like let's do a 30-second song, life lesson, film noir style. I was standing on the sidewalk looking at this dame, and I looked at her and I said, I wonder what her name is.
Excuse me, mister, you looking at me from over there? You're really starting to freak me out, mister.
Hey, gal with the games, you want to come over here and...
I don't know, mister. My mama told me to never talk to strangers, and that is a life lesson.
wasn't quite a song, but
Yeah,
it still worked. It still worked.
Yeah. So, well, are you willing to divulge a little bit? You don't have to tell the whole shebang of your life lesson, because I also do have a life lesson from LA this weekend, and I'm very excited to share.
You were in LA too?
I was in LA as well, but so I was. Oh, here's the thing. I was in LA.
Oh, you were in Riverside.
But I was like 4 miles away, but it could have been like with traffic, it's 6 hours. You know,
right.
So it's like one of those like.
I remember that, but you were there with your family.
And then last minute they decided not to go because,
dude, I could have got you to the Magic Castle.
I would have loved that so much. That would have been amazing.
Why did you not reach out? I thought we were doing a podcast together.
I know. I'm so sorry. But next time we'll do. Well, so they canceled last minute because we weren't going to the beach. They found out. They found out. They go, oh, we're going to the beach. I said, we're not going to the beach. And I said, we have homeless people here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, here's the life lesson. I won't go into a lot of details.
Okay.
Because I don't want those details online. So I'll put it this way. So me and a good friend of mine who's an actor in LA, I have a connection with this talent agency in LA. And he and I were both looking for theatrical representation. And I knew them, and I kind of introduced them to my buddy. But then we both submitted to be represented by this talent agency, right?
Yes.
And the short version is they got back to him right away and signed him like immediately.
Yes.
And they didn't even respond to my submission, even though I had a bit of not a strong relationship, but like they knew who I was and they'd met me before.
Yeah.
And so when my buddy calls me, he's like, hey, I got signed by the talent agency. I was really happy for him. He said something interesting. He just goes, yeah, I just called them up and they looked at my resume and they said, yeah, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
You're on.
Yeah.
Right? And then I went, he's a no-brainer, which means you are a brainer. Right? And not in any sort of judgmental, critical way. It's just an indication of, okay, well, if this is what I really want, number one, what do I need to do to be a brainer?
Yeah.
Or is this what I really want?
I think, and so one of the, we kind of talked about it. Well, one of the things to be a brainer is to just create a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
The reason that he's a no-brainer is because he has a long resume. The reason he has a long resume is because he just has a long resume.
Yeah,
And
because
so,
he's been doing it his whole life.
Exactly.
And he's made the sacrifices. He's invested into his art. He's made all of those, and ever since he was a young guy. Now, I've done that to an extent.
Yeah.
But the reality is, in LA, there is just this gigantic tide cesspool. I don't like that I use that word.
No, it's true.
Talented, attractive actors, actresses, all trying to make it. And so talent agencies just get bombarded with submissions all the time. Rep me, make me famous, give me something, right? And so if I'm not coming to the table with just a tremendous amount of asset, or assets, to where they look at me and they go like, yes, this guy is going to instantly add value to us, as opposed to this guy's going to take some work.
Yeah.
Now, there are talent agencies who are maybe in a position to where they aren't high on the food chain in the talent agency.
Yeah, and they and they're trying to build the roster, and they're like, okay, we can put the work in because we think we can get him this,
right?
Because
we can develop him, and we don't have a guy who looks like him, and he does have a little bit, and so maybe that's something that we can work with, but it's going to take a little bit of work. A very well established talent agency probably has a roster of 500, maybe even 1,000 actors.
Oh yeah,
they probably have 10 guys who look like me.
That's
already.
not even the big ones. That's a smaller talent agency. Yeah. Because so if you're listening to this or watching this, talent, they don't pay you unless you get work. So they can keep
the agency doesn't make money unless I book something
exactly,
and it goes through and I get paid, and then they get 10%.
Exactly. And so it behooves them to have as many people on their roster as possible that is manageable for them as people, so that they cast a wide net to make that income.
To just try to get any possible booking possible.
I'm just saying, this is just for the podcast people. So a lot of people that listen to our podcast are not in the biz.
Sure.
Oh, that's business.
Business.
For the people that aren't in the biz.
In the business.
Okay.
So, but... I just looked at that and went, okay, so I have a couple options here. Number one is I could go move back to LA, try to get more credits, hustle, develop those relationships, just be everywhere. That doesn't sing to me right now.
Yeah.
What sings to me is hanging out in Josh Novi's living room and doing this podcast and improvising songs and talking about our life.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, our podcast studio. Our podcast studio. Yeah. That's in Josh's living room. And and develop this and building a brand, because there is a very high probability that this could get to a point to where it makes me a no-brainer.
Correct.
Oh, he's the host of that thing. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm totally speculating. Yeah. Or this could go... You don't ever know.
You never know.
But the reality is, this is what is fun to me. And I don't want to get hokey with this, but you reached out to me and said, why don't we do this together? So there was something in this context to where Paul's a no-brainer for doing this thing.
I remember,
with.
so I don't
Tell
know
me this, Josh. Stroke my ego a little bit. Why am I a no-brainer? Or why was I a no-brainer?
Actually, so you, because we I think we saw each other at that one open mic, right? The clean comedy open mic, right?
Was that, when did we first? No, I'll tell you when we first connected.
I'll tell you the first time we connected was at that casino gig that you did.
Yes, I booked you.
Yeah, to do the casino
based
gig.
off a recommendation for significantly less money than you probably would ever take. But
Correct.
Initially you said no, and then you had a thing fall through. And you're like, hey, can I still do this? And I was like, sure.
Yeah. And when I did it, I think you still gave me like gas money. I was like, I didn't really expect any money because if something falls through and I go, hey, can I just come and do a set? I'm like, I'm just working on stuff,
right,
or whatever. That was the first time, and then I was like, "Oh, Paul's really funny." And then you're like, "I live in LA." I was like, "Oh, okay, well then." And then you were going to move. Then you moved back here, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, Paul." And then something else happened in your life, and I was like, "Oh no, Paul."
But we went to. I remember you invited me to lunch.
I did,
which was really cool. So that would have been like 2022.
Yeah,
and I didn't. I was kind of like, "Oh, this guy wants to go." Okay,
yeah.
And then you booked me on a gig that got canceled.
Yes. Oh, I do remember that. In fact, that was. If I remember correctly, that was going to pay quite a lot of money.
A lot more than I paid you.
Yeah. And I'll tell you the deets on that. I totally forgot about that. I will tell you the deets on that after the podcast.
Okay. That's behind the scenes. Okay. So then from there, then I think it was kind of a bit of a hiatus.
Yeah. It's not a hiatus. It's just that I'm busy. You're busy.
You're busy.
And then our just. It's hard for paths to cross sometimes, even when you, especially in comedy, when you're in the same circle. Right. It's so it's such a weird thing.
I feel like we did another catch-up lunch. I feel like we did lunch in like 2022,
probably 2022,
and then somewhere around 2023. There was maybe a Facebook, hey, oh yeah, what's up to? And I still didn't really know you that well.
Yes,
other than like, comic, okay. Yeah. Still don't know you that well.
I know, nobody does. Not even my wife.
Nobody really gets to know the true Josh.
Nobody gets to know the real Richard Reese. Josh Novi.
Who are you really?
Who am I? Who am I? Nobody knows. Nobody cares. Nobody shows. Who am I that I deserve this love from my buddy Paul Green? It fits like a glove. Who am I to eat lunch with Josh? And did he pay for lunch? Oh my gosh! He looked at me and said, Paul's a little insaner. And I guess to Josh that's what makes me a no-brainer. Who am I? Who is Paul? Who is Josh? Who am I? Did I come from an egg? Or did I come from the sky? Who am I? Oh! Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? And that's a no-brainer. See, that's why. So, I'll tell you the real reason, the real magic was we did that podcast. I said, you have a podcast, I got a podcast. Hey, why don't we do each other's podcast? We'll do it all in one. We'll do a whole thing. It's super easy. So we do that, and then we go to because you're in the upstairs little room, right? And then,
no, I was in my podcast studio.
The upstairs podcast studio.
Yeah, the upstairs podcast studio.
The penthouse.
The penthouse.
And then we were downstairs, and then we just started, like, you got on the piano, and then we started messing around, and then we started making up a couple songs, and I was like, oh, yeah, and I go, do we have something here? Is there something here? Is there something here?
And now that we're 7 episodes in, I think it's safe to say we do not. We were both on the same page on that, Mr. Right.
I love it. Good job. Yeah. So that's kind of the behind the scenes of this one. Is like I'd seen you work. You did. I was like, you're a very funny comedian. And then I didn't know that you were so good at piano. And then I think I saw you do something else with the piano somewhere, and I was like, oh, no, nice. And then I was like, well, I don't remember where. Just a heads up. Yeah, and then I was like, oh, we're gonna do this podcast thing, and then we start singing, and I was like, oh, there's something here. If we don't at least explore it, then I think we'll miss out on an opportunity.
Yeah.
Because whether or not this podcast blows up, and it will, figuratively or literally, if you don't do what I say, I have your child at ransom. That's what I'm saying.
I have a child.
Yeah. I'm talking to the podcast listeners. I have your kids. I just sent you a ransom letter.
It's gonna blow up one of two ways: either by success or explosion.
Yeah. So I hope you
blow up is good or bad.
I hope you like this letter I wrote with magazine letters.
But there's a cool kind of, the undertone of this is like, go where people are excited to work with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, with this agency, it's like they didn't respond to my message. And I'm going, I wasn't offended by that. It's like, they're busy and they got a million things to do. And I'm another agent trying to get something from them.
Exactly.
You're just in that context.
You're just another mouth to feed that they're just, and so it was explained to me a while back ago on two different levels. One, that when you need an agent, you can't get one, right? But kind of when things are happening for you, and you're kind of like, that's when they smell money, right? Is when they come around.
Yeah, or it's like, the only people who can get loans are people who don't need them.
That's exactly
they're
it.
in such a good financial position. Everybody wants to lend to them, and then it's the people who need money. It's like, oh, ooh.
Yeah, exactly. I don't give you money, but I just need a loan, just like a little bit. I know we talked about this at lunch one time. That I was talking with a larger agency to pick me up for for reasons. They didn't, which is fine. But again, just being in the conversation.
This is
pretty cool.
So using our brainer, no brainer context, but they told you exactly why you were a no brainer.
Exactly.
Or why you were not a no brainer.
Exactly. Well, this is a good example. So if you're listening to this and you are in the entertainment industry, or you want to know a little bit more, when an agency picks you up. When a large agency picks you up, right? Let's say WME, UTA, CAA, one of those big agencies that represent like Seinfeld and all the big names, right? When they pick you up, they told me, they said, we can take you from 70 to 100. But you have to get yourself to 70.
Yeah.
So by the time,
and what does 70 to them look like?
70 is like 70% there. Like so for someone like me, comedian, actor extraordinaire, podcaster, it means probably 1 million TikTok followers, 100,000 Facebook followers, and probably same 150 to 200,000 on Instagram, and probably 50,000 on YouTube. Those are kind of like my metrics of like, okay, when you get to here, then we can have this conversation again. We like what you're doing. We think that there's value in what you do. However, we don't want to. They don't want to put the work or the money into building those social media brands now.
Right.
Whereas 5 years ago, if I'd come to them with all this stuff, they'd be like, this is a no-brainer. Paul's a no-brainer. 2 or 3 years ago, Paul's a no-brainer. Right. And then now she's going, well, Paul, okay, he's really good. He's really talented, but she's in a cesspool of talent.
Right.
Right. She probably, I think we already said, she probably has 10 guys on her roster that look like
me.
Look like you. So she's going, okay, what does Paul bring that those other guys don't? Your friend has a very specific look.
Right.
We're not going to say who he is. But we're going to say,
We're being very vague on purpose.
Yeah, on purpose. Very talented. By the way, I when you said his name, I was like, oh, I know that guy. I know that guy. So, very talented actor. He's a very specific look, which means that he's got the resume, he's got the look, and she probably doesn't have someone that has his resume.
And he's living in LA, and he's SAG. He's already in the union. He's been doing this, and I'm going. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not in LA. I'm not actually acting on a regular basis. I get little stuff here or there, indie stuff or whatever, but I'm not in LA pounding the pavement every day, getting every sort of acting thing I can to try to build connections and get more, better footage and, and all of that stuff. And I just went, now I could go do that. I mean, that's what I did in 2015 when I moved out there. I was just pounding the pavement. I did probably 30 student films, tons of these small little indie projects, everybody, with a camera trying to get something on film, something on tape, trying to, figure this whole thing out. And I got some great footage. I started building a reel, and I was doing stand-up. Through that, I got my commercial agent, and then I did get rep theatrically there for a little bit. But I never really broke into the next level of acting. I got eligible to join SAG, which I did myself. So I totally gamed the system. I mean, actually, I didn't game the system. I did it completely legally and legit. SAG.
SAG, who's I know that
who's watching this.
We know that they actually get together. All of SAG gets together once a week to listen and watch our podcast.
But yeah, I self-produced a SAG production.
Oh wow.
And, it cost me like $1,000 to do it. But an actress friend of mine who was a member of SAG, she made a movie, and she did like a GoFundMe type, like, hey, donate to this movie. And at this level, I will film I'll film a sketch for you because she's a funny sketch comedian. And I was like, okay, it was like $300. I don't remember what it was, something like that. Yeah. So I donated $300 to her movie so that I would get to film a sketch with her. And then I just said, hey, when we do this, can I run it through SAG and figure out what that is? So I have a corporation, right? So I just went through all of this paperwork and all of this work to get my corporation SAG eligible to produce this ultra low budget was the SAG designation.
Absolutely.
Right. And it, and so that I hired ADP, or I contracted ADP to do payroll and employment insurance. And then I went and I bought, I had to have production insurance, and they were really clear on all this stuff. And I'm like, I bet you these are all the gotchas.
Yeah.
Like if you don't click one of these boxes, then they can go, you're out.
Yeah.
So I went and spent money. It was a lot of money to buy insurance to just film. And it was me, her, and her friend with a camera. Yeah. And I paid both of us minimum wage. I paid us like $18 an hour.
Yeah.
For 2 hours of shooting.
Yeah.
So it was like a paycheck for $36, and ADP took taxes out.
I
and
love
took
that.
Social Security
I love
out.
it.
And I ran all of that, and I just submitted this gigantic stack of paperwork to SAG and said, here's our SAG production, here's all the paperwork. And then they waited 2 weeks, and they said, hey, where's that insurance writer? And I'm like, I knew they were going to do that, because I bet you that's how they get everybody.
Yeah.
Because everybody goes because you just have to check a box to submit to say I got insurance. Oh yeah, I bought insurance.
Yeah.
But they don't ask for proof of it until later.
Yeah.
And I was like, I bet you that's what they're going to do. Because there was a part of me that's like, well, I'll just say I bought the insurance and then not actually buy it. But I'm going, I bet you that's going to be their gotcha.
Yeah.
I bet you that's going to be their gotcha. So I found this insurance, and I had the whole insurance writer that insured me for up to blah, 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 blah for a certain amount of days and stuff like that. And then when they asked for that writer, I was like, here it is. And then what I did... So how it works, to join the union, there's a couple of ways.
Yeah.
By the way, this is really entertainment industry heavy podcast. I'm sorry it's gone that direction. But this is what we do.
This is what we do around here.
So you either have to show up and do background work on so many productions until you become what's called a featured actor. And there's all these, actually, I don't want to get in all this. It's really hard to get into the union. There's
so specific rules
on
all levels, whether it's acting, directing, writing, there are very, very, very specific rules.
So pretty much the only way to get into the union is to already be in the union, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you, as a non-union actor, there are just these very, very narrow little pathways to where if you can get lucky and get one of these opportunities, which is like you're a non-union background actor, but then something happens the day of the film shoot and like they need a bald guy with a beard, and none of the union background actors who are already on set don't look like me, and they can't go hire a union actor, and it's like, we need this now, and then it's like, you're what we need, come do this union background acting role. That has to happen for you 3 times. And then you are eligible to join the union. The other way is you get like 3 lines or 1 line or something. Like you actually, or maybe it's just 1 line, or maybe it's just speaking. Maybe you just have to say.
I would have to look it up.
Yeah, it's been a while since I looked all this up. So that means, but it's the exact same scenario, because all of these productions, when you join SAG, they want you to hire SAG actors first, which means, and there's plenty of them all looking for work, right?
Yeah. And some of them have been there. So people don't know. If you can't see, there's a dog here. There's her name's Summit, and she is annoying sometimes.
But I love her.
She's stuck. We love her, but she's stuck. So there are people that, and people, if you're listening to this, watching this, there are people that are professional background actors. They have made a career out of doing that. And some of them make a decent living. Just walking in the background of things. I think
I did that for a little while, by the way. I did that too.
Remember there's a movie, was it called like The Clapper or something like that? Or was it Steve Carell? He was background actor on an infomercial, and then someone saw it and they put a thing out and they noticed that he was the background actor on this infomercial, and that maybe it's Ed Helms. And so like the whole movie is about him being like finding fame because someone noticed that he was in so many backgrounds. It's really funny.
So anyway, this is getting
now
kind of long and tedious about the SAG process. So, but that's the other way, is you get a speaking line as a non-union actor on a union project, which the only way for that to happen is there has to be something so unique about you and some circumstance that is so unique about why they have to use you as a non-union actor to say this one line when there's 10,000 union actors who are hungry and thirsty for work. So anyway, but if you get that line, then they have to fill out all this paperwork and go to SAG and say, hey, SAG, we used this non-union actor on our union movie. Here's why. And now he needs to be eligible because we allowed him on our SAG movie. And it's by rule. Like SAG, if you use hey, SAG production company, if you use a non-union actor, you got to let us know why. And then that guy has to. That guy's now eligible, or actress, right?
Now, if you're listening to this, being SAG eligible doesn't mean that you're automatically SAG.
Right.
You still have to pay in to become a SAG member. And I don't know if it's gone up, but it was like $3,500.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's like $3,500, and then you're paying dues, and then you're a member of the union, but then you can no longer do non-union work.
Correct.
So, guys, in this situation where I'm in, it's like, no union projects are looking at me. I can still get a lot of non-union stuff, but if I join the union, then it's like I'm now pretty much hoping that
there are other rules. So let's say if you do something that is non-union, you just have to go to SAG and you go, here's my exclusion. I'm doing a SAG. It's because we work with that, because I do those low budget Christian movies now. So we have the same where there are members on our roster that we do things with that are our SAG and could get in a lot of trouble for doing the movies if they didn't go to SAG and be like, hey, let's let you know we're doing this thing. It's non-union. So yeah.
Oh, have they softened the rules? Because I thought that it was like, if you do that, you're kind of like, well, we'll let you do it, but you ain't getting voting rights. We don't like you.
It's also because like they're not they're not filming in LA. You know, they're
Right.
not filming in LA. They're not filming in New York. They're not filming
Sure.
in Atlanta. So it's kind of that. You just have to get around it. You have to say, hey, it's like I'm doing it's a non-union. It's ultra low budget non-union, and you just say, I'm doing this. It's an exclusion thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I can look it up for you, or you can look it up for yourself because you're a man. So grown man.
So anyway, this is a very long getting to be very long story. So this is how I became SAG eligible. So I produced my own SAG project, and it was SAG because I had a SAG actress on it,
Yeah.
who was my friend, who pretty much owed me a favor.
Yeah.
Right? But I went through all the channels, and I paid her whatever the SAG minimum was for doing an ultra low thing, and I paid her through ADP, and I had all of the employee insurance and all of this stuff, and I had my insurance writer. So then what I was able to do is say, well, I'm the non-union speaking role on this union project with this union actor.
Yeah.
And why am I it? Because I'm producing the thing.
Yeah, and there was no one else around. There was no one else around
who could do this. And I think I
for-
actually had to say something like that.
Probably, yeah.
Just like, well, you know, he was the producer of it, and you know, and whatever. And so I submitted all of this stuff. 2 weeks later, they go like, "Hey, where's that insurance writer?" And I went, right here, slid it across the table, faxed it, and or emailed it, and then they're like, all right, you're eligible to join the union. So at any time, I could cough up $3,000 and be a union actor.
Which, for right now, it doesn't make sense, but at some point in time in the near future, it will.
Right, and that was kind of my thought was, I'm going to do that when the opportunity is there to where it's going, oh, you can do this, we just need you to be in the union, then I can be like, but that's kind of the difference between if that's was what I was pursuing directly, you know, then I would just go cough up that money, and then I'd be in LA as another union actor, really trying to pound the pavement to get these union jobs. The problem is I don't have a good enough resume for that to make sense, because then because agents are gonna look at me and go like, oh, you're SAG, but you have no credits whatsoever.
Which,
why not?
But you also might find an agent who goes, I don't care. You SAG, you're good. They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't. If I'm gonna let you know, see, a lot of agents are was scrupulous? No, unscrupulous.
Unscrupulous? It just occurred to me. I don't know what scrupulous means. So
I don't know either.
I don't know what unscrupulous means.
They're very unscrupulously.
We're using words we don't know. We have to Google now.
Listen,
this podcast is not only entertaining, it's educational.
Is this school? What was that? What was that rock school? Remember that?
Scrupulous of a person or process, diligent, thorough, and extremely attentive to detail. So you used it correctly.
I did. Unscrupulous.
Yes.
But is it inscrupulous?
Very concerned to avoid doing wrong.
Yeah, but is it in or un? The opposite. Unscrupulous.
Let me see if I can find some antonyms.
Also, work with me on this one, guys. Work with your mouth. Unscrupulous. Unscrupulous. That sounds like an after school song. Honestly, doesn't that sound like
an after school? Hey kids.
Hey guys. We're gonna talk about scrupulous today. I do everything I'm supposed to do. I do it all thorough too. They tell me that I'm so good. I'm scrupulous. Scrupulous.
People think that you aren't cool just because you follow all the rules. I'll tell you what I think about that. It's tit for tat, and that is that I'm scrupulous. I'm scrupulous.
I'm diligent and thorough, and anything that I don't know, I go and look up it on the web. But my Wi-Fi's down
when I need something to do. I make sure that I'm on my P's and Q's. I'm crossing my T's and dotting my I's. It ain't no lie. I'm scrupulous.
I'm scrupulous. I'm scrupulous.
Won't you come with us and
Be scrupulous. And
That one works so much better than the other one.
yeah. We did good. That's that'll be a reel. We'll do it. It'll be. We are running out of time. We're not too. We got.
Are you being scrupulous with how long these are supposed to be?
Scrupulous with how long we're supposed to be.
Are you minding the time? Are you trying to be exact?
I'm not trying to be exact, but it's a roundish. Because we have studies have shown that people like to stick around the hour mark of podcasts. The perfect length.
How do you explain Joe Rogan?
That's because Joe Rogan's what they do is they put it on the background, and then they just listen to it.
We're on the foreground.
I talked to, speaking of, speaking of unscrupulous, someone brought this up yesterday about how much he loved Rush Limbaugh, and God rest his soul. I hope he found peace. And right,
Rush Limbaugh or the guy who liked him?
To both, But he was asking me because I kind of run in conservative circles, and he's asking questions about, oh, you like Rush Limbaugh? And I had to be honest. I said I never liked Rush Limbaugh, and it's not his fault. When I was in middle school, I was a little bit of a class clown, right? I got in trouble a lot. I don't know if you know that or not about me. But
Same here, by the way.
When I got sent to the principal's office, my principal was obsessed with Rush Limbaugh. And so that was what was playing constantly. So in my head, when I hear Rush Limbaugh's voice, I feel punishment.
You have PTSD.
I do.
Wow, that's deep.
I have RTSD. Rush. RLTSD.
Rush
Limbaugh.
RLPTSD.
Rush Limbaugh post-traumatic stress disorder. Yeah. But anyways, this is my midlife crisis moment. That we, because you're talking about, you had an eye-opening.
We talked a lot of about me,
which is good because I feel like last episode we talked a lot about me. So
okay.
It's a give and take, much like Rush Limbaugh, and that's not true.
He only takes
those conservatives. Dick. That's my voice. This is my impression of Rush Limbaugh. I'm Rush Limbaugh. Rush.
This seems like a Asian Rush Limbaugh.
I didn't mean it to be like that. I was thinking like you're in a smoky room, smoking a cigar.
That looks like a Robert De Niro Rush Limbaugh.
Rush. You talking to me? I can't. I don't know because my eyes are closed. Yeah. Okay, so I was also in LA. I was LA adjacent, not LA proper.
Okay.
And nobody else cares, but people in LA do. For some reason, they go, once you hit Temple City, you are no longer in LA. They go, you are Inland Empire or nothing else.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was there, and I was sitting down, and this girl was on the phone with her friend, and she was sitting there talking, and she goes, oh my word! And so I was hanging out with Lucy yesterday, and so Lucy said something funny, and then I said something funny, and pretty soon we're just collabing. And I'm in my head. I go, "You mean a conversation?
Oh, yeah.
You mean a conversation there?
You talked to somebody?
You talked to somebody. That's how talking.
Did you recreate a genome or something?
No.
That's what a collab is. Did you write a script?
And I was just dumbfounded because I go, am I that? Is that where I am in my midlife crisis? That this girl, this young woman, she goes, we're just collabing, and I'm just going, that's a conversation. Mm-hmm. But is that where we are as a society, that they go, listen, I need to tell you something. I talked to someone today.
Well, that sounds collaborative.
Well, you guys collab? Yeah, we collab. We collab for like a minute.
Yeah, we talked. She was like, "How are you?" And I was like, "I'm good." It was an intense collaboration.
Intense collab. We collabed,
synergized, and we created something from nothing that wasn't there before, and now it's there.
It's like so cool. Yeah. And then she goes, "Have a nice day." And I said, "You too." And then
And that's when everything fell apart. And then
we stopped
everything
collaborating.
that we created during our collaboration just came crashing down.
We stopped collabing at that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the life lesson again?
The life lesson is that I'm old. I don't know what the life, but it was just so. So I always like to say I learned this early on in LA that everyone in LA it's full. LA is a place full of people who passionately talk about themselves, right? And then it was just one of those moments when you're in that area and you hear someone say something so stupid that you go, there's no way that I'm the dumb one in this conversation, this thing, right? You go, how do you say? Have you ever been driving and it just feels like everyone else is dumb? And you go, but then you have that moment you go, if everyone else is dumb, but they're driving stupid, am I the dumb one for not driving like they do?
Oh, I gaslight myself all the time.
Yeah, all the time, constantly.
Like maybe I'm the problem.
That all the time. I go, am I the problem? And then I go, no, I'm a straight white man. I'm not the problem.
I'm never the problem. I'm the solution.
The final. So
we love everybody.
Anyway, so I was collabing
with Hitler, and like that guy's got some good ideas.
Listen, loves dogs, vegetarian, great artist.
1 out of 2. 1 out of 2 ain't bad.
That's a fun story. You want a fun story about Hitler?
I do.
This is my funnest little.
The most fun of all of your Hitler stories.
Of all of
his Hitler stories, we're getting the most fun.
And there are a lot.
Oh
no! My favorite story is that it's not a fun story. The way he did before him and Eva Braun committed suicide, unalived themselves.
Yeah,
whatever.
otherwise we're gonna get banned on YouTube.
Sorry, they took those. They tried it out on his dog. I know, terrible, right? Awful. So when the staff of not Birch's Garden or whatever, I'm not sure where they did it. I think they were in Berlin. So Birch's Garden is in Switzerland. Anyways, okay. History buff. Sorry. Well, I love. Oh, give me. Listen,
Give me some of that sweet history.
Give me his. Oh my. Oh, if you give me history documentary, especially war documentary.
Oh yeah.
I would rather go watch that than Kung Fu Panda 4. And I want to watch Kung Fu Panda.
Say that in my presence.
I want to watch Kung Fu Panda 4 more than you could possibly imagine.
Don't you dare. I've never seen it.
I haven't seen it yet.
I probably won't see it.
It's still in theaters. The only time I've ever been starstruck, by the way, was at Universal Studios in Poe. Just a person in a Poe costume was walking around, and I was
really?
and I go, "That's Kung Fu Panda."
Oh, me, how was I supposed to know? Shoot, it just occurred to me I don't know this chord progression.
Yeah.
The sun wasn't right here.
I can't.
Oh, me, I should have let you go.
I like my favorite part
It was
is
a
that
good chance.
my
It was a
favorite
good
part is that
attempt.
we will not get copyrighted on that.
I know, right? Because that is not the song
It's so different
at all.
Not lyrics and okay. So my Hitler thing.
I only say that because didn't Jack Black sing that song or like because he was using that song to promote?
Oh, he might have. He might.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
There was
the new.
all these clips of him singing that song over and over and over again.
Okay. It might be in the movie. I haven't seen the movie yet.
Okay.
Yet I will watch it. It's one of, I love Kung Fu Panda 3. I believe is the best trilogy movie of all time. But anyways, because the baby panda is so cute. Anyways, so they the dog passes away, and the staff at the castle or whatever that they lived at, when they found out that Hitler, Eva Braun, they unalived, and also the dog, they were so distraught that the dog had passed.
Right.
They apparently, from did not really care. They were like they were a little sad about Adolf. Nobody cared about
him. Imagine he was a good boss.
Well, I can't imagine but we have to like put it on a face, but apparently nobody was even remorseful about Eva Braun in the least. Apparently she was a very difficult person to work with. Anyways, collab with.
Would you like to collapse with me?
I would love to collapse with you, Miss Adolf.
I was talking and then she said the word. I'm pretty certain we were collabing, yeah?
And the next thing you know, the world was at war.
The world collapsed. We gotta end that there. Do you want to end on a high note? My voice is good.
I know.
Yeah.
Do we want to go off on a pun though?
Let's go. What, I don't know if I was gonna sing a song about how the world collabed. Oh yeah, here we go. Germany invaded Poland. Germany invaded France. Germany invaded England. And they took off their English pants. They took over places like Belgium and parts of Russia too. But then the rest of the world says, hey, boy, how about me and you collab?
We need a collab. Collab.
Ooh,
We need a collab.
yeah. Then Russia came collabing too with the guns. And those missiles boom in America collab with the war. And they came over, invaded the shore. We collabed all over the place. Keep Germany's collab in the face. Hey, we won that collab, you say. That's a history lesson for today.
Collab. We need a collab.
Need a collab. Need a collab.
I know back then it was a heavy load. Sometimes they had to collab using Morse code. But eventually it led down a dangerous road. Which is why we all need a collab. We need a collab. Just get together and talk things out without using bombs. Oh, we need a collab.
Need a collab. We need.
We need to collab.
Speaking of collabing, that's a great
And
collab.
that's how you end on.
That's
And that's how you end on a high note.
Talk to you guys later. Thanks for checking out. Let's have a midlife crisis.
I'm Paul Green.
I'm Josh Nelby. Collab you later.
So bad.